Hello, welcome to day 3 of yoga on collage of health. Thanks for joining me. I almost didn't join me tonight. It's been a long day, a lot of fun activities, but I'm pretty tired. So this is probably going to be a gentle class, and I must confess I have my sweatpants on, so no Lululemon tonight. But we've got our herb crafter tarot deck, so let's see what we got for tonight. These cards are all out of order. Let's see. There we go. What herb wants to come to us tonight in our yoga practice? Oak. So you've got an oak tree. 7 of Earth. It's a beautiful card. Beautiful artist. So 7 of Earth. What do we got with 7 of Earth? Live by the rhythm of the earth. Work slowly and steadily towards your goal. Plant for the generations to come. Oh, perfect. So I don't have my glasses on. I'm having trouble seeing. I will do my best to read this to us. A large tree stands gracefully at the edge of the lush lawn. The pages of a local field guide are open to oak. A handmade basket sits on the grass, full of collected acorns. The sky is blue on this early, crisp fall day. The leaves are beginning to turn, several float down to the earth. Knowing nature is the key to knowing the self. Your legacy is intertwined with the moss and trees. Oaks are slow growing, long-lived sovereign of the land. Like the oak, you've worked hard and gathered your rewards. When it's time to build your future, listen for the call of the earth. Oak grows only about 1 foot per year. Be patient. Trust your vision to manifest in its own time. Furniture made from oak wood is durable and hardy. As Texans said on Don't Get Old by Being Weak. Have faith in your work. The fruits of your labor will last beyond your lifetime. Look to the past of nature for guidance. The season will give you direction. It's beautiful. And then it goes on to say, make an acorn necklace to remind you to slow down and live in alignment with the seasons. Take a basket weaving class, work on your craft, and then lastly, study the ethnobotany of the land where you live. Beautiful. So let's come to a seated position. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do tonight with this class, but we'll have fun and we'll figure it out, right? So, okay, I want you to come to a seated position, but first, if you need a prop, like a blanket or a pillow to give you some height, you're going to want to grab it now. So I'm going to sit on this little red pillow. So coming to a seated position, closing our eyes, and just tapping into the breath. Just notice the breath, notice the sounds of the breath. And inside, and the refrigerator hum just stopped. So I can hear a bird outside. Just tune into your surroundings, whatever you're hearing. And just notice the rise and fall of the body as you breathe in and breathe out. And then as you open your eyes, just start to take your arms one way and then the other, just kind of seesawing the body. Just kind of waking up the arms, waking up the spine, invigorating the body through motion. I'm going to add the breath to allow the prana to step in, the life force. Good, and coming back into center. And then just move the spine one way and the other way. To allow the body to move this way and that way. Coming back into center and doing some hip circles. Just circling the hips around one way. And then taking it in the other direction. Back into center and then switching directions one last time. And coming back into center, just coming into a spinal twist. So taking the left hand to the right thigh, sitting up nice and tall and finding the twist. And then back to center, inhale and exhale. Sitting up tall on the inhalation, exhaling into the twist. And here, Theodore playing on the couch with himself. Growling. Growling, growling. Good. Coming back into center. Just extend your legs out and point and flex the feet. So today I went swimming, went with a friend. We walked to the water hole, which is about a 45-minute walk. Swam, walked back, then I got home. Before I went swimming, I walked my dog, got home, and walked with some friends. So my feet are very tired. So they like to be moved when they're tired. And actually, let's kind of punch your foot, tap it, punch it, just to awaken the foot, starting with one foot. And then the other foot. Nice. And taking the soles of the feet together for butterfly or Baddha Konasana. And take a breath in and then exhaling, folding over your legs. Inhaling, coming up. Take your right foot, bring your left heel in towards your your leg, your inner thigh, and then take the right foot and bring it over the left leg, sitting up nice and tall, and just finding a spinal twist. Coming back into center. Extend your right leg. Take your left foot over your right leg. And then bring that right leg in, sitting up nice and tall, coming into a spinal twist the other way. And coming back into center, coming onto all fours. So placing the hands over the shoulders, the knees over the hips. And once again, let's do some hip circles. So circling the hips around in one direction. You can make those hip circles as big or as small as you'd like. And then taking the hip circles the other way. One last time, changing directions. Letting those hip circles be as big or as small as you'd like. Just letting it feel good in your body. And coming back into center. Let's take our right leg out. And then just bring it in and out. Breathing in and out as you curl in towards you and extend out. It doesn't matter if you inhale one way and exhale the other. Just make it yours as you bring your right leg in and then take it out. Finding your breath. And just allow that right leg to come out. Try to keep that right leg as straight as you can. And then reach your left arm out. So finding a balance here. And then bend your back leg. See if you can reach for the foot. Maybe looking over your left shoulder. And coming back into center, extending it out. Placing it down and coming into child's pose. Pardon me. Pardon me. All right, come back up. We're going to take our left leg out. Once again, just bringing it in and out, finding a flow. Maybe flexing the foot, or you can actually point it, whatever works for your body right now. And then bringing the leg back, aligning the hips, reaching the right arm out, finding your balance. Bending that back leg, reaching for the foot, just finding a little twist. Extending, placing that hand down, and then coming into downward facing dog. So maybe it's your first down dog of the day. Bringing those hips in the air, walking the dog out. don't know about you, but this feels really good in my body right now. And dropping to the knees, doing a little cow pose or dog pose, really flexing the back. And then coming back into downward facing dog. I'm doing this again, dropping to your knees, arching the back, looking up towards the third eye, the forehead, and then leaning back. Reaching the right leg in the air, stepping it between your hands, dropping to your back knee, and then just stretching your leg, coming back and forward, so stretching one way and the other, leaning back and coming forward. Allowing for this beautiful stretch in the front leg. And then as you lean back, just roll to the outside of the right foot. So the sole of the foot is off the mat, and just kind of giving that IT band, the outer aspect of the leg, a little stretch here. Planting the foot, coming onto the ball of the back foot. Taking the left hand to the inside of the right foot. And if you have a pillow, you can always use your pillow as a block. Reaching the right leg or the right arm in the air, finding a little stretch here. Smiling if you're looking at the camera. Taking that hand down, rooting the back heel down, coming into Warrior Two. Virabhadrasana 2. Gazing down, the right arm out through the middle fingertip. And placing your hands on the ground. If you know how to vinyasa, you can take a vinyasa. Or if you just want to step it back into down dog, step it back. Let's just try that little flow again of dropping to our knees, arching our back, looking up, rolling the eyes towards the forehead, and then leaning back into downward facing dog, dropping to the knees, arching the back, closing the eyes or rolling the eyes upward, and back into down dog. Left leg reaches up. Carefully place it between your hands, drop to the back knee. And then finding a little flow here, coming back and forth. Little stretch. So the nice thing about yoga is you can pretty much do it anywhere. You can just plop your mat down. I was talking to someone once and they said that they do yoga in their driveway. They get a lot of attention, I guess, from their neighbors as they do their practice out front. But really, you can do it anywhere. You can do it in the house. You can do it on a back patio. Even in a car, if you're not driving, you can do chair yoga, as we did yesterday. So we're going to just lean back. We're going to take the foot. I don't know if you can see my foot. You can't really see it, but taking the outer aspect of the foot towards the ground, and the sole of the foot is open to the side to allow the stretch on the outer aspect of the leg. Good, and then just root the foot. Take the right hand to the inside of the left leg and find your twist, reaching your left arm up. This feels really good, especially if your hips are tight. My left hip feels really tight. This feels wonderful. And bring that hand down, root the back foot, finding Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Finding the drishti, the gaze point out through the left arm, through the middle fingertip, and just allow the eyes to rest on one sight, to still the mind, help still the thoughts. And just straighten the front leg. We're going to come into triangle, and the way I like to do triangle is I like to, I think it's a way that one of my Anusara teachers taught me years ago. Try to stick the butt out. If you have a block or even this pillow works. So as I stick my butt out, I'm going to reach my hand down, and as I straighten my leg, I'm going to reach up into my triangle. So ideally, we want our chest to be open more than mine is. So I'm going to kind of lean, since I don't have a block, I'm going to bring my hands up my leg a little bit. I'm probably pressing on my leg too hard. So a tiny micro bend in my front leg. And coming up to standing. Turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out. And we're going to find Trikonasana on this side. So maybe try this way of getting into it. We're kind of sticking the butt out, placing the hand down, and then as we reach up, we start to straighten that front leg. Finding your triangle pose this way. And then coming up, turning your right foot in. We're going to hinge forward. We're going to come into a straddle fold. So you can take the outside of your feet, you can take your big toes. You just place your hands down. I'm going to show you something fancy. You can try to do headstand. So with headstand, you can come into what I call the Baron Baptiste version of headstand, where your arms are bent and you're just putting your head on the ground, your hands are hip shoulder width apart. I like the Ashtanga version. I find it to be a little safer, where you hold hand to elbow, and then you interlace your hands so your head rests very lightly between your interlocked hands. And you really don't want any weight on your head. Especially in the beginning, you want almost no weight on the head if you're doing it correctly. So we've got our straddle, we come down, we interlace our hands, and we just very gently rest our head. And then if you can come up into headstand. And to come down, you're going to come down the same way, with control. Taking our hands to the ground, hands to hips, and standing up. We're going to take our right foot towards the front of the room. And we're just going to step back into downward facing dog. And then drop to your knees, coming into child's pose. So I like to do child's pose by opening up my knees and just letting my torso rest between my knees, my thighs. Some people like to do it with their legs together, arms forward, arms back, whatever works best for you. coming back up. Coming into downward facing dog. Reaching the right leg in the air. Excuse me, bend the knee, open the hip. And just do some knee circles with your knees. And then take those circles the other way. Bring the leg up. And bring that knee forward. Finding your pigeon pose. So finding Akapada Kapitasana, or an earlier version of it. Instead of the full version, we can just start here. And if you'd like, you can come forward. We can use our pillow. We can bring it underneath our seat just to give us some support, or if we have a block, you can also put a block to rest your head on. It's really allowing it to be yours and most comfortable for you and your body. It's just going to vary. Some days we feel more adventurous and open, and other days we feel a little more tight and we need something more restorative. Inhaling, coming up. Let's just stay upright for a moment. If you'd like, you can bend that back leg. You can reach around for that leg. You can play with any kind of arm iteration that you'd like. Any bind. Good. And then just swing that back leg around. And take the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Just kind of roll your thigh. So we sit up nice and tall and finding a forward fold. Inhaling, coming up, extend that right leg. It's coming off our sitting bones, kind of rolling our seat out, sitting up nice and tall, and then finding a forward fold. Inhaling up. And you can find pigeon on the left side many different ways, one of which is just stepping back into downward facing dog and coming into pigeon on the left side that way. Or you can just bring your, your right leg back and just angling into your pigeon this way. Whatever works for you. It depends on your body. Taking a breath in, and once again, let's fold forward. Placing a pillow underneath the sitting bone if that's what your body needs. come upright, you can. You can bend the back leg, or you can just hold in this version of pigeon. Ideally, the back leg is straight and the foot isn't sickled. I'm going to bring that right leg round. It's kind of coming off your seat as you angle the left foot into the inner right thigh, taking a breath in, and then folding into Janu Shirshasana. I'm not saying that right, but that's all right. You get the idea. Inhaling up. I'm going to root both feet on the floor. I'm just going to start a nice roll down onto our backs. Got my shirt tied. I'm going to untie it so that knot doesn't push into my back. And just reach for your feet, your heels with the fingertips as you roll into your bridge pose. So coming up into bridge pose. You can allow some space between your chin and your chest as you root your feet down. Some people like to interlace their fingers underneath the back. Certainly go there if you'd like to. Coming down, releasing your shoulders. Place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. Let your back settle into the floor as you do a centering here. I like to place my right hand on my chest and my left hand on my belly. I actually don't like to place my left hand on my heart area for some reason. But feel free to do it either way. Take a moment to sync the fourth and the third chakra. The third chakra is the solar plexus, and it resonates with the color yellow, and the heart is often found through the hue of green or pink. Just take a moment to see if these two areas can come on board through attention and touch. Release your arms down, reach your right leg in the air, extend your left leg out. Just coming into a little stretch. You can reach yourself up to meet and greet that right leg as you root the left leg down, the left thigh. And then just take your right leg ever so slightly to the right. Maybe 6 inches, just opening it out. As we engage the left thigh down, we're going to just take that right leg across the midline of the body, about 6 inches to the left. You can hook your right thumb into your right hip, just kind of pull it down a little bit to allow stretch. Coming back into Bring that leg in towards the chest. And then extend it down as you bring your left leg up. Once again, meeting and greeting the leg. Lift your body up. Trying to root the right thigh down. Just let your head rest as you bring the left leg out. And then cross it over the midline of the body. And take that thumb, just hook it in the crease of the hip thigh area. Kind of pulling down. Give yourself a little space in there if that feels good. And bring that leg back up. Just hug it in towards you. And bring your other leg up. Just kind of give yourself a hug. And then with bent leg, just place your feet down. We're going to angle our hips about 3 inches, maybe even less, maybe 2 inches towards the left. Bring the knees up in the air and then just drop them over to the right, extending the left arm out. If you want to give yourself a nice stretch, you can look towards the extended left arm, or you can gaze towards the ceiling. Whatever works for your neck and your back, your upper back. And with care, I like to move my hips first. Just kind of swing your hips to center. Bring your legs back. And then taking them over to the other side, to the right, as you drop your knees over to the left. Extending the right arm out. Finding your gaze point. Some people want you to focus on getting your knees aligned. I kind of like the yin version of this, where it just, however it feels right in the body, most comfortable. But again, make it your own. Letting the breath be deep and long, reaching the recesses of the back in this twisted position. And bringing yourself back up, swinging those hips to center. Just planting your feet on the ground one more time. Just allowing the back to settle into the floor as it feels right. And then extending your legs long and your arms out to the side for Shavasana, final relaxation. few more breaths. Always staying in Shavasana as long as you'd like beyond the video. But if you want to close together, let's bring our knees to our chest. If you like to roll to one side, you can do so for a few breaths before coming up to a seated position. When you're ready, coming up to seated. I'm going to bring our hands to heart center. I honor that place in you of divine peace and love. I honor that place within myself. When I'm in that place within me and you are in that place within you, we are one. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for class 3 and staying till the end. If you want to join me live and you're a member of coH of Health, you can certainly log on to community.coHofhealth.com and go into the yoga room, and you will find a Zoom link. The times vary when I'm offering this class, but if you have a certain time that you'd like to connect to do it, please let me know. Namaste.